Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to talk to you about something that was actually user submitted, believe it or not. If you want to also submit some questions down below about something you'd like to hear about me or stuff, please feel free to do so. But this question that was submitted was, what is the positive experiences you've had in the furry fandom and what are the negative experiences that you've had in the furry fandom? Now, I'm going to start with the negative stuff, and I'm going to tell you what I'm not going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about things that involve other people with regards to personal conflicts, right? I have lived in a lot of furry households, and as we all know, furries tend to be drama-filled, and I'm not going to talk about that because I don't feel it's appropriate to talk about any of that. I like to leave negativity in the past and look at positivity in the future and the present. I will tell you about things that were especially negative because of the furry fandom, but not due to any one particular person. One particular instance that comes to mind is a conflict, and that was my cousin had his wedding the same exact weekend that I was obligated to be the art show lead at Furfest, believe it or not. So I only had like 2 people that I could count on to close and open. That was me and one other person. And that isn't because I'm really shitty at staffing. It's more that all of my staff was yanked away from me for various reasons. I was supposed to have enough people to cover the whole weekend. Instead, I was given a skeleton crew. Unfortunate, because I had to leave for an entire day and leave my only staff member alone, albeit she was very capable, and that's pretty much, she always comes back for this. But I had to leave. So there's this pass. It's called Stevens Pass, and it's kind of windy. It kind of does a lot of hairpins, and it's right along the side of a cliff that goes straight down, and then a mountain that goes up the side. And my cousin was having his wedding about 3 hours away. Now, I don't blame anybody for any conflicts that happen, but I am going to say this. There are many, many, many more conventions. There are not going to be many, many, many more weddings. So I felt obligated to go, and I went because I had to and because I wanted to. So I'm driving up this hill, and I'm going to be really honest with you guys here. Actually, no, I'm not. I may or may not, neither can I confirm or deny whether I was or was not going above or below the speed limit. But if you have traveled Stevens Pass, you would know that going the speed limit along Stevens Pass can be quite frightening because there's a sheer drop on one side and a lot of hairpin turns. So anyway, it involved going uphill, going downhill, lots of lack of traction, almost colliding with people, and in all-around generalness, making something that would be 3 hours and finding a way magically to maybe make it around an hour and a half, to be honest. So, moving on, I was going as fast as I possibly can, or not, up this hill, down this hill, to where he was, to be at a wedding for 2 hours, to look presentable, and I pulled that off, considering I was in total convention mode. After that was over, I stayed for part of the reception, had some food, hopped in my car, and did the same thing going back. I almost got in a wreck 3 times. I should have learned by then. But anyway, Stevens Pass is scary. The whole day was pretty much a wash for me because of when everything was and how far away I was and where I needed to be. And there was absolutely 0 people that thought I would actually make it to the wedding. They all legitimately thought I was not going to make it, but no one told that to my face. My staffer was completely burnt out by the end of the first day, and I needed to really step up my game. So that was really the only major problem, right? That would be like the biggest negative with the furry fandom, is that I'm so deep inside the furry fandom that I feel committed to both the obligations of the furry fandom and my family life and personal life as well. On the, positive side, which is where I would like to end this, is I would say the single most positive experience I've ever had in the furry fandom is kind of two-part. And it's gonna probably extend this video out a little longer, but it's worth it. And it needs to be emphasized, and I don't feel it's emphasized enough. We are all people who just share an interest in something, and there happens to be this phenomenon where furries tend to find each other and get to know each other, and then end up living with each other at some point. I would not be in my personal opinion, highly successful situation that I am today without the furry fandom. When I was going through school, when I moved out, I was lifted up by the furry fandom and helped to be made successful by people that I chose to surround myself with. So that is a huge positive for me. I wouldn't say that anyone paid for me to go to school. That by any means is not the same. And I wouldn't say that I didn't try at all, because I certainly did try. But I used my resources accordingly, and that was people in the tech industry, and I was also going into school for tech. So what do? You get a mentor, and that mentor happened to just be furries. When I moved out, I moved in with another furry, and it made life easier because I could socialize with them easier, I could connect with them easier. And so it made harder problems easier to deal with. And that's just locally, right? Well, the positives spread globally also. I would say the single best experience I've ever had in my entire life with people have been with the Singaporean furs. When I went to Singapore, I landed, and this is the one time I think I should think it's okay to say names. And Halud and Snares are two local Singaporean furs. Greeted me at the airport and took me to where my hotel was gonna be. And we went and we got some food. Initially it was just us, and then it was 3, and then it was 4 furries. They just kind of wandered around, right? Wandered in. And then after that, it was more and more and more. And by the time dinner came around, there were like 35 of them that all came. They didn't come out to see me. They have this quite compactly dense furry population in such a really small city-state. And so I got to meet a lot of them, and it was such a cool experience, and they were so accommodating and so nice that by the time I left, and I was only there for like 3 days, I think, but by the time I left Singapore, I was in tears because I knew that I wanted to come back and hang out with them again, and I knew that I couldn't see them for so long, and it made me so happy to know that I met so many kind people in some place that's completely foreign to me. And that is the power of the furry fandom, and that is why it's so positive, is that the people in it are their own positives. The negatives are just kind of like, off to the side doing their own thing, and it's really hard for me when I think about all of the positive things about the furry fandom to really think of anything negative about it. It has let me express myself, overcome fears. It has brought me closer to people around the world, and it has let me really differentiate myself in a world full of people who are pretty much the same. So, I don't know, man. that's how it is. I've got plenty more of that, and I'm sure I could expand on it. So I have a two-part question. I'm gonna throw this question back to you guys, but I'm gonna leave the negative stuff off. What is the most positive experience you've had with the furry fandom? Leave it in the comment section below. Let me know, and remember to like and subscribe, and follow me on Twitter. It's @BlazeCollie. It's where you can get a lot of the more up-to-date things. I post there quite frequently, daily, and you guys can get to know me a little bit better there as well. Catch you guys later.